So ever since I created the chapter concept for a second Stranger Things chapter in Dead by Daylight, I had so much fun making that, and you guys seem to really enjoy it and kind of get hyped for the potential of that maybe being the case one day. I kind of thought I wanted to do it again. I wanted to get on my little creative boots again and design some more stuff because as I said, I really enjoyed it. And what other chapter could I possibly do than probably one of the most requested chapters in Dead by Daylight? Of course, I'm talking about a Five Nights at Freddys chapter. People have been begging for this for years. People have wanted Springtrap specifically, and I actually do think if done well, Five Nights at Freddys could be a really decent little idea. I really feel like if it was executed well, it would definitely fit right at home in the DBD universe. So that is exactly what I've designed today. Similar to last time, we have designed a killer, their power, their perks, and a bunch of add-ons for them to use. No survivors this go, because honestly, I'm not the biggest knower of Five Nights at Freddys. I've only played the first one and about halfway through Security Breach, so I'm not too sure on the little nuances, but I did still have a ton of fun in making this, and I hope for all of those Five Nights at Freddys fans out there, you can kind of get a little bit excited and a little bit kind of, you know, hopeful that this could potentially become a thing at some point in the future. So, without further ado, this is it. The killer, of course, is the animatronics. Now, the way that I'm doing this is I'm not just adding one animatronic. I thought it would be a waste. I thought that all of the amazing kind of icons that they have, and so many names, so many amazing differently designed animatronics, you can't have just the one, because yes, fair enough, having Springtrap in might be great, but of course you're neglecting Freddy, you're neglecting Chica, Foxy, all of those kind of wonderful friends. So the way that I'm doing this is that the power is called the family bond. You work well with others, so you and your animatronic friends roam the trial looking for contributions to your family. The first part of the power is the mind swap. You start the trial as Freddy, however Chica and Springtrap will also roam the trial separately. Press the ability button to swap consciousness with either of the other animatronics and instantly take over that selected character. So think of it as a perfect blend between Twins and Legion. You'll have two animatronics that roam the battlefield looking for survivors, and as well, if an AI animatronic stumbles across a survivor, they will immediately alert the player of their presence and create a loud noise notification by doing those screams that they do. I think that would be a really cool way to kind of signal that they're close to somebody by doing those jump scare screams kind of thing. But yeah, kind of a perfect blend of Legion and Twins. When Legion first was announced and kind of announced that it was going to be 4 killers in one, I thought, oh, that's cool, so you'd be able to swap with consciousness with whoever you want to pick. There'll be 4 killers on the map. Sadly, that wasn't the case, but with this, it would be. So if you see Chica in an area of the map that you really want to be in or close to a survivor, you could swap consciousness, stop playing as Freddy, teleport to that to Chica, and take over there. Especially if somebody's been alerted, I think that would be a really cool way to kind of use your power to see kind of to cover as much as the map and keep things really interesting. So, and that's just the first. I kind of went a little bit nuts with this. I did 3 aspects to the power. That is the first. The second is your soul is mine. Now, I am actually really happy with this one. I thought it was a really cool idea. So, if you was to load into a trial as the animatronics, there would be a spare suit of one of them somewhere on the map, whether it be like Monty or Foxy or something like that. Now, the idea is that if you put a survivor on death hook, or if you get a survivor who is on death hook, sorry, and you put them into the dying state within like 5 meters of them, but instead of having to hook them and kill them, you would instantly start a Mori where you force them into the animatronic suits, because obviously in the first game that is exactly what happens. If you, the security guard, are caught, it's very much law that they they force you into a suit because they think that's what you need, that's where you need to be, kind of thing. So I thought that would be really cool for that animatronic to then become real and also scour the map. So if you do get lucky enough to down a survivor close to one of these animatronics, you could potentially have an extra bit of your power given to you. And finally, we have 5 AM. So for me, every single generator would class as an hour. Now, obviously, if 3 generators pop at the same time, you get a little bit shaky. But at 5 AM, when the last generator is completed, this would make the animatronics go apeshit. They know that time's running out, they know that they need some new friends, so they would gain 100% movement speed. And I haven't wrote this because I didn't have enough space to write it, but instead of being alerted to survivor's presence, they would instead grab and hold the survivor and kind of lock them in place for you then to teleport to them and instantly hook them. So when 5 AM comes, you need to be incredibly careful about the animatronics, because they would basically turn it up to 11 and really become a major threat if you're not careful about where your placement is. So that's their power. Obviously room for error, room for improvement. It's only my thinking, there's no doubt some problems, but just from what I thought would be really cool and work into the animatronic kind of power play, I really feel like these 3 little things would be really fun to use and make the killer a lot of fun and probably quite strong. But now we must move on to their 3 teachable perks. The first is Found You. Your nights of endless hunting have taught you where survivors are most likely to hide. Within 10, 12 or 14 meters of a locker, you will see survivors in it. Their aura will be revealed to you for 3 seconds. And survivors gain crows 100% faster. So this is great as well. Very rare that survivors hide in lockers, especially if you know the dredge's existence and whatnot. But if survivors do it and you are close, you will instantly know where they are if you are looking out for the aura, because it'll only be showing you for a couple of seconds. But as a counter to maybe like head on or something like that, survivors will gain crows much faster as well, which will allow you to find them when you start getting the noise notifications for them. The second perk is Spring Locked. You know how generators work and you know how to fix them to work for you. After kicking a generator, that generator will then become Spring Locked. The next time a survivor touches that generator whilst it's regressing, Spring Lock activates and the entity will immediately block it for 10, 20 or 30 seconds. I'm sorry to say, I know a lot of survivors really don't like gen slowdown perks, but this is going to be another one that I thought would be quite cool, and I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet. I really am surprised that there hasn't been a perk that's kind of dedicated to, you know, making sure gens are locked when survivors touch them. Just a small little idea for one, nothing too drastic, but one that I thought would definitely be justified. And finally, probably my favourite perk idea that I've had for a long time, we have Scourge Hook Decoy. After years of entertaining others, you finally can get to enjoy yourself. When hooking a survivor on a Scourge Hook, the generator with the most progress will instantly swap with the generator with the least. I thought that this would be such a fun idea. Now, it probably would be a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie and just say that it is be all flowers and daisies. However, I really do think that this would be a really fun perk. I thought that would be such a fun little idea and definitely kind of keep the game a little bit tense and on edge. So yeah, that's my ideas just for the perks and the power. Now we're going to move on to the animatronics add-ons. Now this is the entire logo for all of them. I've once again designed most of these from scratch. I've taken a couple from the game itself and just tweaked them slightly. But let's get into the common add-ons. So the first one is Empty Drink. An empty drink that was once used by night security, which reduces the animatronic startup time by 1 second. So the idea is that obviously when you start the trial, the other animatronics of Chica and Springtrap won't immediately be activated. So this reduces the startup time for them by just a second. The next is Pizzeria Plans. Plans of the pizzeria, helpful for those who wish to escape. White auras of all animatronics appear at the start of the trial. So when you spawn in and you want to know where the other 2 animatronics are going to be located, you will see where their startup locations are, so that you can either know where you're going to teleport to immediately or know where to push survivors. The next is Door Controls, the controls to open and close the security doors to help keep the family away, which reduces the time it takes to swap consciousness with animatronics by half a second. Another is a brown one. The brown ones are going to do very little, but just kind of amplify what they can already do. So when you swap animatronics to Chica, to Freddy, to whatever, this will just do it half a second faster. Now the last one as well, Help Wanted. This is kind of a bit of a memey one that actually makes the killer's power a little bit worse, but for the cost of blood points. I know there's a couple out there that do that. They're clowns not party bottles. I know a couple of killers have got us, like Speed Limiter. Speed Limiter is a perfect example, but this removes the ability to teleport to animatronics completely, but you'll gain 200% increase of blood points to the deviousness category. No one's going to use it, but sod it, why not have a memey one? The next category, of course, is the uncommon add-ons. The first, of course, is Fox's Eye Patch, an eye patch worn by one of the fastest animatronics alive, which increases the roaming animatronics movement speed by 25%. So, of course, when you're not controlling either Chica or Springtrap, let's say, they will just roam the map a little bit faster, kind of similar to what Nemesis's special AI does for his zombies. The next is the Cupcake figure, a cute cupcake figure with a disturbing connection. The radius to trigger animatronic alerts will be increased by 10 degrees. So kind of again like the zombies where they have an increased like awareness. This will do that so that if survivors step within 10 extra degrees of the animatronics, they will alert the player and signal that, you know, someone's close, teleport to me. The next is the performance microphone, a microphone used by Freddy to sing to his happy friends. When 5 AM strikes, animatronics movement speed will be increased by 60%. So of course this is all about endgame, making endgame absolutely as strong as possible. Not only would they increase by 100% because it's 5 AM, but this would give them a further 60% to make it really difficult for survivors to escape them. And the next one that we have is the French fries. Deliciously warm French fries, perfect on the side of pizza. When swapping consciousness, gain killer instinct for 3 seconds on survivors within 10 meters. So if an animatronic does get an alert, you can teleport to them straight away after a couple of seconds, and then you will instantly know where the survivor may be, or if anybody's trying to hide close to you. And finally, for the uncommon add-ons, we have the desk monitor, the monitor that security uses to observe the most bizarre things. And this one gains 10% haste for 4 seconds after swapping consciousness with an alerted animatronic. So if an animatronic does alert you to swap to them, you will have a much faster movement speed for 4 seconds, so you can really catch up to them and dish out some damage. And next for the rare add-ons, the first ones we have is the star glasses, the jazzy glasses worn by a cold-blooded animatronic, which reduces the animatronic startup time by 3 seconds. Very similar to the empty drink, but kind of just does a little bit more considering it is a rare. Next, we have the cooling fan, a small fan on a desk of an unfortunate security guard. Reduces the time it takes to swap to animatronics by 1.5 seconds. Again, just helps speed up that process, keep you in control. Another very simple one. So next we have the alarm clock, a painful reminder that it is not time to go home. Survivors within 12 meters of roaming animatronics will suffer from the exposed status effect. So if you are chasing a survivor and you can push them towards a roaming animatronic, you could potentially expose them for a little bit. I didn't say how much. I think I should have only put for like maybe 10 seconds or something like that. I can't remember why I didn't add a time to that, but just to kind of help kind of force survivors' movement potentially to get really good benefits from it. And speaking of exposed, the next is Chica's bib. Survivors that alert any roaming animatronics will suffer from the exposed status effect for 15 seconds. So if you are chasing somebody and somebody gets alerted, you then have the option to teleport immediately to that animatronic and potentially get an easy down depending on the survivor. But don't forget, obviously there'll be the consciousness swapping time, there'll be the startup time and whatnot, so you will have to hopefully get in the really right set for it, but with maybe another add-on this could definitely be doable and definitely punish those who wander too close. And finally we have the party hat, a hat to celebrate special days. If roaming animatronics passes a generator that is not being worked on, they will kick it and the generator will start regressing. I thought this is just a little bit of a really weird and bizarre one, but I thought it could be really fun. If a survivor isn't working on a generator and they pass it, they will just instinctually kick it for you and it will just start regressing. No perks can be affected by this, it is just very simple, but you know, it will definitely make survivors be more careful on which generators they work on. For the next we have the very rare add-ons. The first is a pizza slice, a greasy pizza slice topped with cheese and pepperoni. Roaming animatronics based movement speed will be increased by 200% when a generator is completed. Very similar to the iridescent shield badge, which I feel like shouldn't be iridescent to be fair. But for like 30 seconds, again I forgot to put the time in, but 30 seconds animatronics will be able to move very quickly and kind of pressure survivors. So yeah, I thought that one definitely would be worthy for very rare. The next is the security tablet, an old tablet that shows you when dangers are on their way. During 5 AM, all survivors will suffer from the exposed status effect from roaming animatronics. This one basically means instead of grabbing the survivor and holding them in place for you to swap consciousness to them, instead the animatronics will attack and instantly down survivors, again making them an absolute force to be reckoned with in the endgame. After that we have Freddy's top hat, a smart hat worn by the mascot of the pizzeria. Survivors are exhausted and exposed for 5 seconds once you have swapped consciousness to a different animatronic. So once you keep swapping, every single survivor will be exhausted and exposed for 5 seconds. There'll be a slightly longer cooldown on how often you can teleport to different animatronics because of this, but you could definitely get some good value out of this. And finally, for the very rare add-on, we have the birthday cake, which is nothing better than a big cake on the big day. And this makes it so when you swap consciousness, it then happens instantly. There is no cooldown, there is no teleportation time. If you click teleport, it instantly teleports and you instantly take control of that character. And then finally, for the 2 iridescents, we do have the Bite of 87, an infamous bite that changed everything, which means that you can no longer swap to other animatronics, but animatronics can now attack survivors constantly, and survivors hit by roaming animatronics will be instantly downed. So think of this very much similar to the security tablet, but for the entire game, but at the cost of you won't be able to teleport to them at all. And finally, we have the iridescent security camera, which makes that spare animatronic now instantly active after 3 minutes of the trial starting. So as soon as the trial starts, after 3 minutes, that spare suit will instantly get up and start roaming around. So if you do want to get value out of it, but not too certain that you'll be able to get a survivor downed in front of them, well, this is what you can do instead. And guys, that is it. Now, all of these are off the top of my head. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of problems and a lot of clashing with this, so please don't pick this apart going, well, you can't run that because that with this would be too much. I know there's going to be some problems. This is just some theories, just something for fun, and just entirely a concept. So you will have to let me know what you think. I would absolutely love to hear if you want a Five Nights at Freddy's chapter in Dead by Daylight, and if you did, do you think this would satisfy you? Or would you go down a completely different route? You'll have to let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of letting me know, I have now got a vote on for the next chapter that I'm going to be making a concept for in my poll section in the community. So if you want to vote for which character I create next out of Alien, Predator or Chucky, please swing by the poll section and have a vote. This will be ending on the end of the month, so the 31st the vote will close. Make sure you get it in as soon as you can so that I know which I can start creating next if you want to see more. But thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. These take a lot of time to make, so I would really appreciate it. But guys, that is it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye for now.